Gujarat has witnessed the march of civilization since the dawn of time. It has seen powerful rulers and still more powerful saints. It has woken up to the battle cries of conquerors from across the Khyber and later the mighty British. And each stage has left behind its mark on architecture and archaeology, distinct and clear as footprints in the sands of time. Few states can match Gujarat in the sheer number and variety of archaeological finds. From excavations of prehistoric sites to the grandeur of medieval architecture, the state has seen it all. The cave temples in the hills of Saurashtra and the stupas and viharas dated to around 500 AD, as well as the Ashoka rock edicts at Junagadh, show the significance of the state during the golden eras of the Mauryan and Gupta empires. However, the golden age of Gujarat came under the Solanki dynasty from the 9th to the 12th century. The ancient fortified town of Patan, the state capital for 600 years, reached its zenith as a place of learning and commerce. Ruled by men who were patrons of the fine arts and aesthetic beauty, Patan boasted of a number of memorable monuments and edifices, the most significant among them being the Rani Ki Vav and the Shastralinga Talav. A vav is a unique artistically designed stepwell characteristic of Gujarat and an ingenious example of how people adapted in adverse climatic conditions. The Rani Ki Vav, built in the 11th century, is probably the oldest and grandest among the 120 stepwells in the state, built by Rani Udayamati in memory of her husband King Bhimdeva I. An excellent example of subterranean architecture with exquisitely carved walls, pillars, beams and steps. Every surface is adorned with finely chiseled statues of maidens and Hindu deities, religious motifs and geometrical designs, representing probably the finest in Indian sculpture and architecture. The Sahasralinga Talav in Patan, one of the many artificial tanks, is an engineering marvel that linked the twin perspectives of water management and its sanctity in the Hindu religion. Some of the 1,000-odd Shiva shrines that stood on its banks still remain. Patan is also the exclusive center for the age-old traditional weaving craft of patola, practiced by just a few families today. Probably among the most magnificent of all archaeological monuments in Gujarat is the Sun Temple at Modhera, built in 1026 AD by Bhimdeva. On the morning of the equinox, the sun's rays illuminate the deity in the innermost sanctum sanctorum. The temple stands high on a plinth overlooking a deep stone-step tank amidst 108 shrines. 52 carved pillars depict tales from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Every inch of the edifice is magnificently carved with gods and goddesses, birds, beasts and flowers. A few hours from Patan lies Vadnagar, a showcase of the history of 1,000 years. Famous for its stepwells, temples, heritage houses and torans or decorative gateways. One of the ancient towns of Gujarat, Vadnagar finds mention in the travels of the Chinese scholar Hyun Sang and other English historians. The toran or decorative gateway is the finest serving example of its type, with its carved column supports, wide stone beam and detailed sculptures. Ahmedabad, Gujarat's industrial and commercial capital, once Western India's most important royal capital, with its splendid palaces, imposing mosques, tombs and exquisite stepwells. Ahmedabad's long and prosperous historical past has bequeathed it a rich architectural legacy. The earliest monuments of the city date back to the pre-Mughal Muslim sultans of Gujarat, who founded the city and embellished it with mosques and mausolea in mellow honey-colored sandstone to create what is known as the Indo-Saracenic style of architecture, a rare and happy blend of Muslim and Hindu styles. Gujarat, with its ancient traditions of temple architecture and fine sculptures, provided the Islamic rulers with artists who had generations of experience. Some of their works surpass the finest monuments in the entire Islamic world. While basically influenced by Hindu designs, their style was innovated upon to include Islamic tenets. Delicate filigree-like ornamentation is to be found in various examples of torans, stepwells, minarets, domes, arches and balconies. The mosque and tomb of Rani Sipri, once described as the most exquisite gem in Ahmedabad, was built in 1514. However, the ultimate culmination of this school of decoration was the Siddhi Sayyid Mosque, built in 1572, and celebrated the world over as a superb and peerless example of delicate carving that transforms stone into filigree. Ten semicircular window screens, along with slabs of stone intricately carved to resemble a piece of lace, make it one of a kind. The valves or stepwells served several functions, the main ones being to provide water, besides a resting place for travelers. They were also built as acts of piety and used as meeting places. Adalat stepwell, built in 1499. The well has 4 pavilion constructions and is 5 stories deep. Richly carved, it has every pillar and wall surface covered with leaves and flowers, birds and fishes, and friezes of ornamental designs. The Sarkhej Roza. About 8 kilometers from the city lies one of the most elegant 15th century architectural complexes of Ahmedabad. Grouped around a great step tank are the tomb of the great saint, Ahmad Khatuganj Baksh, the mosque, which was once called the perfection of elegant simplicity, and the tombs of Mahmud Shah Begara and his queen, besides the palace and the pavilions. The buildings are remarkable for the complete absence of arches and the use of pierced stone trellises throughout. Rani Sipri's Mosque, a small exquisite mosque built in 1514 by a queen of Mahmud Shah Begara. The queen herself lies buried here. The shaking minarets. The amazing feature of these is that when one minaret is shaken, the other one vibrates too. The minarets generated so much fame and curiosity that one of them was dismantled to fathom the secret of its construction. Bhadra Fort. The foundation of this old fort was laid in 1411 and it once enclosed the royal palaces and gardens. When the Marathas captured the fort, they converted one of its chambers into the Bhadra Kali temple. Teen Darwaza. The triple-arched gateway was built by Sultan Ahmad Shah to serve as the royal entrance to the Maidan Shahi or the Royal Square. It is an imposing monument of perfect proportions and highly ornate buttresses. Situated bang in the middle of the old city, it serves as a thoroughfare for thousands of vehicles. Shah Alam Roza. The tomb and mosque of Saini Shah Alam are said to have been built by the brother of the Empress Nur Jahan. The brass doors are set in carved marble frames. Moving down south a little further, we come to Champaner, an ancient fort town located at the foothills of Pavagadh and known for its superb rocky defences. Champaner took 23 years to build and attained glory as a great town of Western India. Many edifices were constructed during these years: bazaars, town squares, royal gardens, water structures and mosques. The significance of Gujarat on the archaeological map doesn't end with temples and monuments. Prehistoric implements and tools have been found in Saurashtra and Kutch. But it was from 2500 to 1500 BC that the ancient Indus Valley civilization thrived in Gujarat. Recent excavations at Dholavira at Khadir Bait in Kutch have shown the remains of a city, perhaps the oldest to be excavated in India and considered one of the largest settlements in the entire valley, rivaling Mohenjo-daro. The site shows 3 separate divisions: the upper, middle and lower town, besides excellent systems of town planning and drainage. Lothal, 80 kilometers from Ahmedabad, the largest Harappan site excavated, shows a high degree of development and reveals a complete ancient township. The small town exhibits neatly planned streets and dwelling houses and a well-executed drainage system. Exhibits found at the site show the standards achieved by the copper workshops, potteries and bead factories and include implements, toys, site plans and a standardized system of weights. Among Lothal's best-known features is an inland dockyard for ships. Comparable to some of the modern docks of today, it is rated among the great maritime achievements. Preserved in these numerous monuments of breathtaking beauty and diverse styles are the labors of love of the men and women who designed and built them. And while they may not be around anymore, their work still stands the test of time, bearing mute testimony to the glory of their craftsmanship and the